As I'm sure many of you are already aware and saw many other content creators scream into the void about this bullshit. Monetizing a feature in the game should never ever be a thing. It's absurd in and of itself, and we all know why. I'm not going over that. There are two things I want to address in this video. One being, how should they monetize? And two, how CIG responded. But first, before we get into the response, let's address how they should monetize. I'm not sure what the right approach is, but this sure as shit not the right way to go about it, guys. This is absurd. I mean, like, bomb racks, them just kind of slipping in there and making it to where any ship can really be a bomber, I think that's dumb. And the fact that we have to pay for it with real money for now is annoying. Sure, we have to wait confirmation until the June patch, but we shouldn't have to give you more money to test a feature. A ship, sure, because a ship takes a year plus to make. It is a grueling process to hard model anything, hard surface model anything, including ships. And with the level of detail their ships have, that's understandable. And this is coming from a 3D artist perspective. I was okay with you guys monetizing the ships because I understood how much work went into making those ships. How are you going to try? I'll get into the response in a minute. To address how they should monetize. Some might suggest doing a subscription. Well, funny that they have a subscription. One would think that something like this would be more than okay to put Flightblades into. Why can we not have access to Flightblades if we have a subscription? That would make sense. Monetize it that way. I don't want to subscribe to play the game, but if you want to introduce new features into the game and try to monetize it off of some manner, do the subscription. I get it. You guys need money, and that is abundantly clear. You got real showboaty with your last CitizenCon, so much so that you're not doing a CitizenCon this year, and it's all digital, and then you're compounding that with Bar Citizen being a watch party for CitizenCon. It's very clear you're hurting for money, but don't monetize this way, okay? Maybe throw it into subscriptions if you're going to try to monetize a feature. This would be like if they were to introduce a new railgun or a weapon equivalent to a railgun and them being like, money. It's absurd. And to think that someone is trying to justify that is insane to me. So here is their response. And let's just get into it. Throughout Star Citizen's evolution, one fundamental principle has remained paramount. Everything you pledge for to support our development will eventually be attainable through gameplay. Okay? Your contribution helps push things forward, but your time in the verse should be equally rewarded. You kind of have an oxymoron right out the gate here, bud. Yeah, our time in the verse should be equally rewarded. So maybe if we have X amount of money spent into the game, or you have something called a subscription, you should introduce new features that way, or make it obtainable in the game. Features, not ships, features. We're pushing 11 patches this year instead of 4. We're crushing more bugs than ever, building more exciting content, moving faster than ever to make the persistent universe a better experience for everyone, and in moving that fast, we missed a step. Yeah, like being fucking grounded with your community and understanding that you're being a dickhead with the monetizing of Flightblades. Like, I'm so irritated by this post, I can't even speak properly. To be clear, the new Flightblades will be obtainable for AUEC in our next patch this June. We followed our usual approach by offering early access on the Pledge store to help support development, but after some reflection, we've decided that for smaller components, Flightblades or bomb racks, they should be available in-game at the same time they appear on the store. Oh, really? After some reflection? Or was it the being flamed by every single game journalist, every single person in the community, a copious amount of videos coming out and saying, what the fuck, CIG? The amount of people that are going to be like, if you keep going this direction, I'll quit, myself being one of those people. You can monetize ships. You know why? It doesn't matter if you spend $1,000 on a ship. I'm still going to be able to outplay you. When the Polaris dropped and it was only obtainable by buying it, I was still running around. Oh, hey, it's supply or die. Guess what? There's a Polaris on the ground. What am I going to do? Board the ship and self-destruct it. Give them a healthy 1 hour timer because I am but one wee man. And they are 3. I may be called an asshole for that, but hey, you were in Pyro at an event with a big spendy ship. Any Polaris I saw, I blew it up that way. Just because you spend big money on a ship doesn't make you any less dog shit at the game. And I've come to find out most Star Citizens suck at FPS. But I digress. The choice has and should always be yours. If you want to support the project early, you can. But it's not required. If you own a game package, you'll be able to pick up these with in-game currency in our next monthly patch, and for future gameplay kit introductions, we'll ensure these items are obtainable in-game on day 1. Yeah, I wonder why that was. You pissed everybody off, and you're like, oopsie, I called it though. I called it. I said this twice, well, probably like 100 times on stream. They're going to backpedal. This is not going to stick. They're not going to backpedal with this introduction of it, but they're not going to continue doing it because they'll just not have a business. Thanks to everyone who's weighed in, especially those who brought the heat constructively. Well, that's a fucking... What is with this passive-aggressive nonsense? This game has always been shaped by the community. Star Citizen wouldn't exist without your passion and support. Or your scrutiny and feedback. We hear you, and we take it all to heart. Fuck's sake, CIG. Yeah, done made an oof, and, you know, from this about sums it up. From selling all game progression on the store to selling all game progression on the store. CIG listened, all right. They're still making features monetized. It's no different, though. People are going to be upset with the monetizing of Flightblades and bomb racks, but, you know, gear, weapons were monetizable already. My first thought is, great. They're backpedaling, and they're dropping it on the store and making it available in the game, leaving it up to our discretion as to whether we want to spend money on that. Not a big deal, but there's still going to be scrutiny towards pay to win. Again, ships are one thing, paints are another. Features to make your ship better is a completely different thing. Don't put it on the pledge store. We get your strapped for money. If anyone pays for a Flightblade, you're part of the problem. You're the reason why CIG tries to do this shit. On that terrible disappointment, I'll see you guys next time I'm live, which is usually every morning except for Sunday, or in the next video.